What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin, and today we got a pretty special video for you guys today because it's all based on your opinions. A couple of weeks ago, I made a video where I gave my top 5 favorite players of all time, and in that video, I asked everyone to make sure that they comment down below what their top 5 were of all time. I took all of those answers, I compiled a list, and I made a Red Seat Nation's favorite players of all time. It's a pretty cool list, and I wanted to share it with you guys because, well, it's your list. So we're going to do that today, but before that, I wanted to give you guys a quick update on what is going on in the world of the MLB. Yesterday, if you're watching this video on Monday, the day it comes out, the Players Union and the MLB had a meeting that lasted about an hour and 15 minutes, which seemed good at first, but as it turns out, the MLB is now upset with the Players Union's proposal. They were pretty upset that they didn't get a formal written proposal, and they were pretty upset that the players refused to budge on certain things. So it's looking like we're going into a bit of a stalemate, and analysts are predicting now that we are going to lose 40 to 50 games. That is almost a third of this season, which is pretty insane at this point. So I'm thinking about simulating games and putting them on here for you guys to watch, so you got some sort of professional baseball using a MLB The Show platform. So let me know what you think of that down below. But besides MLB news, let's get into this pretty cool list that you guys came up with. As always, though, before we do get into it, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. I said in the last video that I'm putting together a 500 subscriber giveaway, so make sure you're also telling your friends, your family, everyone you know to subscribe to this channel. I've got a Tanner Houck autograph card lined up, a Connor Seabold. I'm working on a Garrett Whitlock, and I'm going to get one more. So whoever wins is going to get 4 autographed Red Sox cards. So make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe button. Also, make sure you guys are hitting that like button as well. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. If you're wondering how I figured out what your top 5s were, I took all of your lists, put them in an Excel document, and then I ranked your numbers from 5 to 1. So if you were in first place, you got 5 points. If you were in 5th place, you got 1 point. And I just went through, and each person I took out, and I figured out how many total points they earned. It was a pretty interesting process. If you want me to show the spreadsheet, I can. But before we get into our top 5s, I'm going to give you the 2 honorable mentions, the guys who were closest to the top 5. At number 7, technically, is Xander Bogaerts. And at number 6 is Dustin Pedroia, who I'm kind of surprised didn't make the top 5. He was on a lot of people's lists. He was always 3rd, 4th, or 5th. So it didn't end up earning him enough points to make our top 5. Now on to our official list, the Red Seat Nation's top 5 list of favorite players ever. Coming in at number 5, we got Jason Veratech. Now, Veratech got 3 first place answers, and he got a lot of 5th place, but it ended up evening out. And this honestly makes a ton of sense. I would have been shocked if Jason Veratech didn't make it. He was the captain of the Red Sox for, 10 years and still works in the organization. So it makes a whole lot of sense that Tech is in here, especially because he spanned multiple generations of Red Sox fans. At number 4, we got Manny Ramirez. Now, I am kind of surprised that Manny snuck his way onto this list, only because he has a lot of controversial issues that came up. However, most of those did happen after he was a Red Sox, so it does make sense. Not to mention, he made the game of baseball fun for younger Red Sox fans, I'm sure for older fans too. And on top of that, he was one of the best hitters in Red Sox history, so it makes sense that Manny made this list. At number 3, and this one I am kind of surprised at because we have so many generations that are participating in this list, and I'm surprised he was on almost all of them, and that's Mookie Betts. Mookie made it onto most people's top 5s, and it just reiterates the point that we really should have tried to extend Mookie further. I can't remember exactly what the number ended up being that we could have given him during free agency. Obviously, it wasn't enough. I would have loved to have seen Mookie here for a couple more years. Imagine Mookie Betts on that 2021 team. I have a very strong feeling if we had an MVP caliber year for Mookie Betts in 2021, we would be sitting here talking about the World Series champions. At number 2 is one that I know I should have put on here, but I just completely blanked on, and I'm kind of an idiot for it. This one is a very obvious number 2, and that's Pedro Martinez. Probably one of, if not the best pitcher in Red Sox history. One of the top 5 pitchers in MLB history in a lot of people's opinions. A great all-around personality. A great help to the Red Sox after he left. Always loved being in Boston. You listen to a ton of different interviews and talk shows that he's done where he talks about how he wanted to stay with the Red Sox, but ended up having to do what was best for him and his family. And on top of that, it makes a whole lot of sense that Pedro Martinez gets the 2 spot. I wasn't personally around long enough to see his full greatness potential. I did see him in 2004, but before that, Pedro Martinez pitching was an event in Boston, so it makes sense that a lot of you guys would put him on this list. I know I should have put him on there, and I just completely blanked. And at number 1, the obvious choice, the king of New England, the king of Boston, the face of the Boston Red Sox for the last, 13, 15 years, David Ortiz. I mean, if it was anyone else, I would have been shocked. Honestly, I wouldn't have been so surprised if Pedro made number 1. But David Ortiz being number 1 makes a whole lot of sense. I don't even need to go into all the things that he's done for this city. I did a lot in my top 1. He was my top 1 too. Anyways, that is your top 5. Tech, Manny, Mookie, Pedro, and Ortiz. I say it's a pretty solid top 5. Let me know if you guys want to do this kind of stuff in the future. We can keep going. I could do top first baseman, top catchers. There's a whole lot of stuff we can do with this. So if you guys like these kind of videos, let me know by either liking the video or let me know in the comments down below. Both would help out the video a ton, and it would let me know that you guys like these. Let me know also who you think should have been on this list for Red Seat Nation best. Do you think someone got snubbed that should have been on here? Let me know all your thoughts on this list down below. As always, if you've made it to the end of this video, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button. Again, 4 autograph cards once we hit 500 subscribers. So make sure you guys are hitting that button. Also, make sure you guys are hitting that like button as well. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Thank you all very much for participating in this, because it is so cool to me that we have these type of things that we can do. Thank you all very much for clicking on this video, and I will see you in the next one.